This is MSI's Vortex G65. It's a pretty incredible mini PC featuring two desktop GTX 980s in SLI in this ridiculously small sort of trash can configuration. It's pretty awesome, so stick around. So starting off with the specs, it's an i7-6700K, two desktop GTX 980s in SLI, 16 gigs of DDR4 RAM, 256 gig SSD, and a 1TB hard drive. In terms of I/O, it's pretty much all on the back, so you have the Kettle power lead at the bottom, as well as two USB Type-C ports, a double as Thunderbolt, two mini display ports, and pretty much two of everything else, including 2 gigabit LAN ports, 2 HDMI ports. You also have 4 USB 3.0 ports, as well as SPDIF and headphone and microphone jacks. On the top, you have a lot of ventilation as well as an LED, and pretty much similar for the front. You have the power button, an illuminated MSI logo, and some more LEDs, and that's pretty much it. Now technically I could stop here and show you performance numbers, but I just had to take the sides off because this thing is pretty incredible. Now as you can see, these are the two graphics cards. They are MXM modules, so that they just slot in, and then the boards that they slot into slot on top of the sort of main board at the bottom. It's actually really cleverly constructed. You can see the massive heatsink for the CPU here, and the M.2 drive that's obviously the SSD. You also see the PCH header sort of cable, ribbon cable type thing for the rear I/O. And we've got to say, this thing is, as I said, very impressively constructed. You also have the RAM on the other side as well. Now, in terms of the actual performance numbers, if you can't tell, this is GTX 980s and 6700K, so it's a very, very impressive system. And with the games that support SLI, this is incredible. Now, I do have kind of a caveat to this, and that really is that SLI isn't supported with every game. It's not perfect. One graphics card is still definitely the better way to go. But for the games like GTA and 3D Mark that supports, I know 3D Mark isn't a game, but whatever, stuff like GTA where it does support SLI, it's an incredible experience. It's definitely plenty enough to power through VR titles, and when SLI is working, 4K is actually an attainable option here as well. So yeah, I'm really impressed. In terms of temperatures, it was about 60 to 70 degrees on a relatively hot room, and despite it being quite loud, it's still a ridiculously impressive small box. So what do I think of the MSI Vortex? Well, it's insane. It's a little trash can sized box. I'm not entirely sure on the exact dimensions of the Mac Pro, but this thing is incredibly small. It's ridiculously fast when SLI works, which is the main caveat to this. SLI has to be working for the performance to be amazing, but the fact that it's two desktop GTX 980s in SLI and a desktop 6700K inside a box that size, which includes the power supply inside of it. It's not an external power supply, it includes it inside of it. It's just incredible. Obviously the I/O is relatively limited, and the fact that there's only I/O in the back is a little bit annoying as well. But with the fact that there is obviously mini DisplayPort out, as well as HDMI, the dual gigabit Ethernet, as well as the USB Type-C ports, it's a really impressive little beast. In terms of value for money, this makes absolutely no sense, which is why it's getting a 3, but performance is absolutely fantastic, which is why it's getting a 5. In terms of functionality, I think I'm going to go with a 4 because it sits in between being ridiculously small but also ridiculously expensive, and obviously having only I/O in the back can be a little bit annoying. But yeah, in terms of styling, it's going to have to be a 5. And TechteamGB score, despite it being ridiculously expensive and not the most functional thing in the world, it's just going to have to be a 5, isn't it? It's going to get the gold award because, again, despite it being just ludicrously expensive, it's an incredible bit of kit. It's really awesome how they crammed everything in there. And when SLI is working in games, it is ridiculously impressive. Again, that is the main caveat. If you do pick one of these up, don't expect it to work, SLI to work all of the time with every game. So again, that's the main caveat to all of the performance numbers. But yeah, nonetheless, it is incredible. Actually, the even more incredible thing, even though the ambient temperature is about 25 degrees here, it still stayed at about 60 to 70 degrees on both GPUs and the CPU. So again, really impressive thermals for something that small. So yeah, that's just really impressive. If you want to pick one of these up or anything else, feel free to check out the Amazon affiliate link. Feel free to subscribe if you enjoyed it and like, but if you didn't like it, feel free to hit the dislike button, but let me know why in the comments down below so I can improve for next time. And yeah, I guess that's that. I hope you enjoyed the video. Feel free to, as I said, subscribe, like, and all that sort of stuff. And yeah, we'll see you all in the next video.